In 1901, a sponge diver came up from a shipwreck off a Greek island holding a corroded lump of bronze. It sat in a museum drawer for a year. Then it split open and there were gears inside. The island is Antikythera, a scrap of rock between Crete and the Peloponnese, in water that turns rough without warning. In the autumn of 1900, a crew of sponge divers sheltered there and went down to look at the seabed. Their captain was Demetrius Contis. The first man down surfaced describing a heap of bodies on the bottom. They were bronze and marble statues, scattered across a slope 50 meters deep. The Greek government sent a navy transport and salvage began. Over months, divers brought up statues, glassware, coins, and furniture fittings. One diver died. 2 were left paralyzed by the depth. Among the cargo was the bronze lump. Nobody paid it much attention. It went into storage at the National Archaeological Museum in Athens with everything else that came off the wreck. In May 1902, an archaeologist named Valeriostes looked again. The wooden casing had dried and cracked apart. Inside the corrosion, he saw a toothed wheel. Gears. Cut bronze gears, machine-like, in a ship that sank around the 1st century BC. The find did not fit anything historians believed about ancient technology. The obvious explanation was that it did not belong. Perhaps it had fallen in later. Perhaps a modern clock had gone overboard above the wreck and settled into it. That explanation failed. The bronze carried Greek lettering in ancient forms. Its corrosion matched the rest of the cargo. It had gone down with the ship. For 50 years, the object mostly sat. It is not one clean machine. It survives as 82 fragments, most of them small, the largest about the size of a paperback. In the 1950s, a historian of science, Derek de Soliprice, began working on it seriously. He suspected the gearing was not decorative. He suspected it calculated something. In the early 1970s, Price worked with the Greek physicist Charalambos Karakalos, who made gamma-ray images of the fragments. The plates showed gear trains buried inside solid corrosion. Price counted the teeth he could make out and published his reconstruction in 1974, under the title Gears from the Greeks. It was received with more discomfort than enthusiasm. His central claim was simple and hard to accept. The device modeled the sky. Turn a handle on the side, and the pointers moved as the sun and moon move. Price got details wrong. The imaging was crude, and roughly 2/3 of the mechanism is still missing. But the core of his claim survived everything that came afterwards. In 2005, a research team brought new instruments to Athens. A microfocus X-ray scanner weighing 8 tons was shipped into the museum because the fragments were far too fragile to travel. They also photographed the surfaces under light from dozens of angles, combining the images to lift engraving off the metal. Together, the methods read writing no one had seen in 2,000 years. Thousands of characters emerged. Dial labels, month names, astronomical terms, and passages describing the machine's own display. The object had come with instructions, engraved on its own plates. The gear counts came clear too. At least 30 bronze wheels survive. In the accepted reconstruction, one wheel carries 223 teeth, cut by hand, spaced with startling regularity. Here is what the mechanism does, as far as the surviving evidence supports it. On the front, a pointer travels around a ring of the zodiac and a ring of the Egyptian calendar, marking the position of the sun. A second pointer tracks the moon. A small ball, silvered on one side and blackened on the other, turns slowly to show the moon's phase. The moon does not cross the sky at a steady rate. It speeds up and slows down. The mechanism reproduces that variation with a pin sliding in a slot between 2 wheels mounted slightly off-center. That is a mechanical answer to an astronomical problem. It converts steady rotation into an uneven one, and the unevenness matches the real moon. Whoever designed it understood Greek lunar theory and could render it in bronze. The back of the device carries 2 spiral dials. The upper spiral is a 19-year calendar, reconciling the cycle of lunar months with the solar year. The lower spiral runs 223 months and predicts eclipses. Small marks flag the months when a solar or lunar eclipse was possible, some noting an hour, and in places an expected color. A smaller dial tracked the 4-year cycle of athletic and religious games: Olympia, Nemea, Isthmia, Delphi, and at least 2 lesser festivals. A machine for the heavens that also told you when the games were due. Most reconstructions add pointers for the 5 planets visible to the naked eye. The surviving inscriptions name them and describe their motions. The planetary gearing itself has never been found. So, an analog calculating device, hand-cranked, housed in a wooden case roughly the size of a shoebox, made somewhere in the Greek world before the middle of the 1st century BC. Nothing of comparable complexity survives, or is even described, for centuries afterwards. Geared calendar devices do reappear in the Byzantine and Islamic worlds, but they are far simpler machines. Machines that genuinely rival the Antikythera gearing appear in Europe in the 14th century, in the astronomical clocks built into monastery towers. That is a gap of roughly 1400 years. This is where the popular story overreaches. The mechanism was not 2000 years ahead of its time in any absolute sense. It was a product of its time, a tradition we have almost entirely lost. Cicero, writing within a generation of the wreck, describes a bronze sphere made by Archimedes that reproduced the motions of the sun, moon, and planets. He mentions a second such device owned by a scholar on Rhodes. So the ancients wrote about these things. We simply had no example, and quietly assumed the accounts were exaggerated. One survived only because it sank. Who built it is unknown. The month names on the calendar dial are Corinthian, pointing towards northwestern Greece or Sicily. Others argue for Rhodes. The date is disputed too, with estimates spread across a century and a half. Divers keep returning to the site. Recent expeditions have recovered more statue fragments, a bronze arm, and part of a human skeleton. No second mechanism has ever been found. Bronze was valuable. Broken machines were melted down and recast into something useful. We have this one because it went into the sea instead of a furnace, and the sea kept it. Everything else was lost somewhere between that workshop and us.